Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the South Hills, also known as Sunnyhill. We're delighted that you could join us for this service. Our mission at Sunnyhill is to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Maddie Senaway, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you're a newcomer or visitor to our congregation, please go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says New to Sunnyhill to receive more information about our congregation and to receive our weekly email newsletter. Our Share the Plate beneficiary for the month of May is Community Care and Resistance in Pittsburgh. We have a special guest this morning who will tell us more about this worthwhile cause. Here to introduce our guest is Pat Murray.
Good morning. I am co-leader of our Sunnyhill Criminal Justice Team and a member of PIN, Pennsylvania Interfaith Impact Network, an organization that our church belongs to and supports, their criminal justice team as well. I have the pleasure of introducing today's guest speaker, Muhammad Ali Nasser. He's also known as, or primarily known as, Manny. Manny is one of 3 citizen members of the Allegheny County Jail Oversight Board. And I want to add that I first became aware of Manny because he had been attending the Jail Oversight Board monthly meeting for over a year, I can't even say how long, and speaking at every of the board meetings. So I was thrilled when Sarah and Murado appointed him to the board. Manny is also the founder of Community Care and Resistance in Pittsburgh, who aid the homeless and formerly incarcerated, which is, as just mentioned, Sunnyhill Share the Plate partner this month. He's also a leader at One Hood, which is an African-American organization whose mission is to build liberated communities through art, education, and social justice. And Manny did speak to a small group between services, and it was taped, so we're going to put it on YouTube. So if any of you, I hope some of you will watch it and share the information with your friends. And now, we'll let Manny take over. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Really happy to be here. Again, my name is Muhammad Ali Nasser. I go by Manny. I'm one of the founders of Community Care and Resistance in Pittsburgh, and it's a support organization. We primarily serve folks who have been incarcerated and folks who live outside or unhoused population, and we serve them in a lot of different ways. We put money on people's books. We show up to court for folks. We help to facilitate bail to get people released from jail. And when people are released from jail, we offer them cash, Uber rides, phone calls, and we offer them a lot of resources and supplies. In fact, my truck is filled with supplies right now, with everything from tents to clothes, to shoes, to food, drinks, everything that somebody may need in order to survive. And the reason that we started doing this work is to fill a gap that was created by our local government, unfortunately. And of course, we see that everywhere. We see that in the criminal legal system, and we see the failures of our government when it comes to our unhoused population, especially. There are a lot of folks who live outside who don't have the resources that they need. So folks like us try to meet that need in various different ways. I came to this work because of my own personal experiences, mainly my experiences with the criminal legal system. It's probably no secret that as a black man, I was more susceptible or more likely to have an engagement with the criminal legal system. The first time happened when I was 16 years old, and instead of even being placed in the juvenile facility like the juvenile that I was placed with the adults in Allegheny County Jail. That was my first experience and it was a very difficult and challenging one, but it gave me an education into the way that our system really works. It really works in a way that rewards people with money, resources, people with the right complexion, and it punishes folks who do not have them. So the orgs that I've been a part of, including the Bell Fund, that actually meets the gap or fills the gap between folks who have money to pay their bills and folks who do not. We bail people out free of charge. Again, when folks get released from jail, we offer them a variety of resources that they need. And overall, I think more importantly, we challenge the system of punishment that exists currently. Whenever we think about the criminal legal system, we think about punishment in jail and prison. But there are other systems of justice that exist in the world. There is a system based on restoration. There is a system based on transformation. And the folks that I work with, we seek to usher in some of these systems. I forgot to do this because I did this last time, so I'm going to do it now. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Of course, the Bible teaches to honor your father and mother, so I have to honor my mother. Again, please stand up, mother. Without the love and support from my family, of course, more importantly, my mother, I wouldn't be here today. And, you know, I think it's incumbent upon family and community to support one another even when we go through difficult times, even when somebody may be incarcerated, even when somebody may be struggling financially. But I was very fortunate to have a mother that was in my life and very supportive and very helpful at all of the court hearings. Oh, I'm sorry. But not everybody is that lucky. And a lot of folks that we engage with don't really have that family or have that support. So we try to meet that need and be that's a family or that support system that they need. I'm very happy to be here. Again, like Pat said, I also have to give recognition and props to Pat and Fran of course, from this church, but I know them from their work from PEN, the Pennsylvania Interfaith Impact Network. Sorry, we just call them PEN. But they show up month after month to the Jail Oversight Board meetings, raising awareness and calling out injustice within our criminal legal system locally. And they've been very impactful in the work that they do, and I invite anyone who's interested to participate in that work. The first Thursday of every month at the county courthouse, we'll be there. Bethany and I will be there. She's our county councilwoman. She is also on the Jail Oversight Board. And also we table outside of the jail every Friday, greeting folks who get released. And Pat and Fran came down to the table with us to see some of that work in person. We're very appreciative of that. And on Sundays at noon, we go to the homeless shelters and the encampments. So the reason my truck is filled with tents and supplies, shoes and clothes is because as soon as we leave here, we're going to go to a homeless shelter on the south side, and we're going to supply the folks with the things that they need. And we're going to go to a homeless encampment that's behind the jail that's been growing day after day after day. If anybody ever rides on 376 going towards Oakland and you look to your left, you'll see tent after tent after tent. And we're partially to blame for that. We provided the tents that started that camp. But without those tents, those folks would be sleeping on somebody's porch or sleeping in front of a store. So we provide them with the resources that they need. And we invite anyone who is interested to assist us in the work that we do. So very, very appreciative of us being here, of you welcoming us. We felt a lot of positive energy in the room. And I will say, even if this isn't something that you're interested in, and there's something else that you are interested in, each and every one of you, you have the ability to affect change. Thank you.
A gentle reminder, please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices so that we can enjoy the service uninterrupted by buzzing or ringing. Today's service is titled The Truth About Parenting. Parenting has never been more difficult and complex than it is today. What are the lessons that all of us might learn from the challenges of being a parent in a world filled with so many uncertainties and dangers? Our opening words were written by Elizabeth Mount. From our very first breath, we reach out. Co-regulation, not self-regulation, is in our nature. We find our cues from the sun and the moon, from each parent and caregiver. We find our place in this great turning planet by turning to one another, generation to generation. We awaken to the dawn and fall asleep at the evening's end. Our life's journey is part of something greater, something simple, something divine. A flame cannot be lit without a spark. A life cannot begin without the air. And we cannot begin to find ourselves without love. May we reach out to one another. May we offer love and nurturing care. May we join together in celebration of the interdependence of our lives. In this spirit, let us worship together. Please join me in saying the words to light our chalice. We light this chalice to celebrate those who have nurtured and compassion in growing minds and hearts. We light this chalice to celebrate and hold dear this flame of love.
Good morning. Please rise and bow to your spirit to join in singing our opening hymn, The Fire of Commitment.
Free from fear. I would like to invite all the kiddos to come up front. Pretty please. Pretty please. This is not going to be scary. Okay, this is me. Hi. And way over there, and look at all those wonderful faces. I got to tell you, my name is Dennis, and I've got a little story to tell you about the church. When I first came here, it was almost 45 years ago. 45, can you imagine that? I think when I started coming here that your moms and dads weren't even born. So, when I first stepped through that front door there and came in, there were only 30 members of the church. And if you look out there, look at all of those people. Look at all the people. There's much more than 30, and that's not counting the first service. The church started to grow, and over time, we didn't have enough room for everybody, so that room over there where the fireplace is, we had to move the wall back about 12 feet so we could get more people to come in. And that was our first major construction project, and to get money for it, we had something that was called a capital campaign. Now, suddenly, over the next 10 or 12 years, as we became more popular and we had some awesome ministers, more and more people came to the church, and we had to accommodate those people, so we did another, guess what, capital campaign. And the result of that capital campaign was this room right here. So if you look at what we've done 2 huge capital campaigns, and it was just for the adults. And it's now time to start thinking about you guys, you kiddos. And what the congregation has decided, and 100% of everybody voted in favor of this, is to have another capital campaign to do major new work on that end of the church. And most of that rebuilding is going to be for classrooms for you guys. Isn't that cool? No, I think that's cool. So I've got one question for you. What is one thing that you would like to have when we do that? Is there anything you think we should include? Any wishes you have? Yeah. I beg your pardon? An art area? That's cool. That's cool. Anything? Yes. Oh, I better come over and talk to you. New chairs? They are uncomfortable, aren't they? Yes. Anything else? Oh, yeah.
Bigger tables and chairs.
Bigger tables and chairs, yeah. Jen is writing all these things down so we can make sure not to forget. Oh, yeah.
More railings for the more stairs.
More railings for the stairs? A little lower, you think, for little people like me? Yeah, well, that would be cool. Any others? Okay, I've got another. Oh, yeah.
More toys.
More toys. Now, that would have been my first choice, more toys. Now, the second question for you. I think the name Capital Campaign, that's sort of boring. Sounds like something political that you do in Washington, D.C., doesn't it? Yeah, you agree with me. So I would like you guys to think, what could be a good name for that would, for this campaign? Can you think of anything? Okay.
Fundraiser? A fundraiser.
Funwish? Fundraiser. Fundraiser? That's one we could call it. Fundraiser. How about fundraiser? Oh.
How about money raiser?
Money raiser. Money raiser. Yeah.
Music station.
Music station. I like that. How about Dennis's Dungeon? Okay. one of the things the committee has thought about is we sort of meet secretively, but we haven't been really good at keeping you all involved in what we're doing. So we thought maybe you as a congregation could come up with some ideas for what we could call this entire project, a tagline. And that's why you got the little cards. Did you all get a card like this? Did you all get one? If not, there's some out in back. And we'd like you to write down on those cards what you thought we should be calling this thing, other than capital campaign in an election year. So to sort of stimulate maybe some of your thinking, I have a poem that was written by Karen Morelli. And the lyrics were put into a song that I recently sang with the group. But I think this sort of captures the essence of Sunnyhill and could possibly be a theme. The title of the poem is We Belong. We belong to one another, standing side by side, our hearts open wide. Our faith is strong. We belong. We are all one breath. We're all one song. We're all one hope. We are all one voice. We are all one breath in unceasing spirit. We are one. We belong to one another, marching hand in hand all across this land. Hope will be our song. We belong. We are all one joy. We're all one triumph. We are all one struggle. We are all one love. Like the rain, we will nurture and sustain one another. We belong. So, I'd like to have your ideas, please, folks. And you could put them in the collection basket or put them back to the room. And I want to thank you all. Thank you, guys, for your help and your ideas. Yes, sir. The idea is to start a pyramid scheme. Okay, we'll call it the Great Hall of Cheops. Okay.
With that, we'll sing them out. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go, as you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go. Welcome to the end of being alone inside your mind. You're tethered to another, and you're worried all the time. You always knew the melody, but you never heard it rhyme. She's fair and she is quiet, Lord. She doesn't look like me. She made me love the morning. She's a holiday at sea. The New York streets are as busy as they always used to be. But I am the mother of Evangeline. The first things that she took from me were selfishness and sleep. She broke 1,000 heirlooms I was never meant to keep. She filled my life with color, canceled plans and trashed my car. none of that was ever who we are. Outside of my windows are the mountains and the snow. I hold you while you're sleeping, and I wish that I could go. All my rowdy friends are out accomplishing their dreams, but I am the mother of Evangeline. They've still got their morning paper and their coffee and their time, and they still enjoy their evenings with the skeptics and the wine. Oh, but all the wonders I have seen, I will see a second time. From inside of the ages through your eyes. You were not an accident where no one thought it through. The world has stood against us, made us mean to fight for you. And when we chose your name, we knew that you'd fight the power too. You're nothing short of magical and beautiful to me. I'll never hit the big time without you. They can keep their treasure and their ties to the machine. I am the mother of Evangeline. They can keep their treasure and their ties to the machine. I am the mother of Evangeline.
This is the time in our service when we share joys and sorrows that have been submitted by members of the congregation. You can submit these sorrows online from a link on our website or by filling out one of these forms that you can find in the entryway to the church on your way in on Sunday morning. After each joy or sorrow that I share, please respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." I have just one joy to share this morning from Susan McCarthy, who says, "Thank you to all of the Sunnyhill folks and youth group members who made the plastic path at the Mount Lebanon Earth Day Fair work. It was a work of modern art. To everyone who helped with the Sunnyhill display at the Earth Day celebration, we hold you in our hearts." As we sing our musical meditation, we invite anyone who feels moved to do so to come forward, light a candle, place it in the sand, and then return to your seat. join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer? Let us pause to consider how we are cared for and how we care for others. Life starts small and grows, nourished by the earth, the sun, water, and air, nurtured by so many caring hands and hearts. Mothers and grandmothers, aunts and cousins, fathers, siblings, friends, and untold others. The gift of life is freely given, but sustaining life requires work, requires sweat and tears, requires sacrifice and patient perseverance, none of which comes easy, none of which is a given. Circles of caring, crying, laughing are traced by fingers seen and unseen, forming a web that holds all. A silken net that catches the fallen and the falling, that works to mend holes, that sometimes fails, that frequently tires, that always and forever tries. Let us pause for a moment of silence as we consider those who have nurtured us and those whom we have nurtured. May the great web of all life hold us and others. May the gentle hand of caring and compassion touch all. And may we reach out to give and receive and be love again and again and again. Amen. As I mention almost every year around this time, Mother's Day is one of those holidays that tends to be fraught and complex with often conflicting sentiments and feelings. If you are fortunate enough to have had a great relationship with your own mother, if you were fortunate enough to be able to become a parent yourself, assuming you wanted to, and have had good relationships with your own child or children, if your mother and your child or children are all alive and healthy and well-adjusted, if you meet all of these requirements and maybe a few others, then perhaps you can just sit back on Mother's Day and enjoy the moment. But for many, Mother's Day is problematic. It points out the gap between the idealized fantasy of motherhood and the reality, which is often not so pretty. If your mother was abusive or absent, if your mother has died or is in poor health, if you are not on good terms with your mother, if you have lost a child, if you have tried and been unable to conceive a child, if your child is incarcerated, if your relationship with your child or children is strained or non-existent, if any or all of these things is true for you, then you may not feel like doing a whole lot of celebrating on Mother's Day. I know a number of ministers, colleagues of mine, who won't touch the subject of Mother's Day from the pulpit because it can be so problematic. No matter what you say, there's someone in the congregation who's going to have a strong emotional response. So today, rather than dwelling on the fantasy of Mother's Day as depicted in certain greeting cards and elsewhere, I want to explore the lessons that might be learned from parenting. And I want to suggest to you that we all need to take on the role of being nurturers ourselves, for our own children, certainly if we have children, but also for other children and youth and adults who need that nurturance so much. No matter what your relationship with your mother or with mothering might be like, most of us have been at one point or another nurtured in love by someone whose caring has made a great difference to us. One of the things I like best about church, and about this church in particular, is the fact that it gives us so many opportunities to practice being nurturers. People who serve as religious education teachers, OWL facilitators, coming-of-age mentors, as we saw last week, high school youth advisors, and others are all stepping up to play vitally important roles in the lives of our young people. And beyond our programs for children and youth, much of what we do involves nurturing relationships of one sort or another. The work of the caring team and pastoral care team, sharing circles, all of these things are at their heart about providing nurturance or a nurturing environment for ourselves and for others. But we are living in a time of extraordinary challenges when it comes to raising or nurturing children. As parents or in any other nurturing role, we sometimes ask, as we find ourselves in an era of unprecedented gun violence and mass killings with little or no response from our political leaders, as we find ourselves in an era of political chaos, attempted insurrection, and a long overdue reckoning with regard to systemic racism, as we find ourselves in the middle of screaming disagreements over such things as the validity of science and the reality of the devastating effects of climate change in the form of extreme weather, fires, floods, and the melting of the polar ice caps, we ask, as we find ourselves in the middle of all these seemingly apocalyptic events and circumstances, how in the world are we supposed to raise our children? What are we supposed to tell our children, and what should we not tell them? What is the best way to protect them while also giving them the opportunity to have full and meaningful lives? And how much longer are we going to have to answer these difficult questions, not just once, but again and again? There are all of these competing priorities and competing needs that we're juggling and trying to keep in the air right now, and our arms have grown weary from having to juggle so many things for so long. Even without the particular challenges I just named, over the past few decades, parenting has become a more complex and at times overwhelming task, as seemingly everyone has weighed in on what you should or should not be doing as a parent. Everyone has their own hot take, especially people who are not parents themselves. There are a lot of judgments that are rendered on parents based on their so-called parenting style. Parenting has become in many ways fraught with peril because of the amount of judgment that people can heap upon you. A recent newspaper article states that in Google searches, the words most likely to appear closely before or after parenting over the past 20 years are style, skills, and stress. The word child is much farther down on that list. Expectations of parents have risen, and with these rising expectations, stress levels have risen as well. So, it is in this context that today's parents must face the already daunting challenge of raising children. We have a strongly held belief that there are right ways and wrong ways of parenting, but we have no real consensus about what those ways are. We just know that whatever parenting style we choose, whatever parenting manual or system we elect to follow, we're always doing it wrong, according to somebody. And the reality of parenting is that whatever books you've read, whatever programs you've watched or subscribed to, parenting is something that takes place in this moment. Things happen fast, and you don't usually have a chance to consult your parenting manual before making a decision. The truth about parenting and about life in general is that most of us are doing the best we can. We make mistakes. If we're lucky and if we're paying attention, we learn a few things along the way and adapt accordingly. But Mother's Day, as it was originally conceived, was not about measuring up or failing to measure up to some absurdly high and unrealistic standard. In fact, it was not about placing mothers on a pedestal in any way, but rather about inviting and inspiring mothers and others to work together for the good of all. The first person to propose the idea of Mother's Day was Julia Ward Howe, a famous Unitarian who is perhaps best known for having written the Battle Hymn of the Republic. She's the woman for whom Mount Lebanon's Howe Elementary School was named. Howe's idea was not to have a day that celebrated mothers as saints, but rather to mobilize all women to work for peace. In her Mother's Day proclamation of 1870, in the wake of the American Civil War, she wrote, "Arise, all women who have hearts, whether your baptism be that of water or of tears. Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We, women of one country, will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs." She goes on, "As men have often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war, let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of council to promote the alliance of the different nationalities, the amicable settlement of international questions, the great and generational and general interests of peace. We will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies." That means men, if you're wondering. Howe was expressing the idea that those who nurture others, especially those who nurture children, have the greatest stake in creating a peaceful world and should have the greatest voice in promoting and working for peace. And she was right. Our work in the larger world is and should always be driven by the relationships we have with our own families, with our own neighbors, with our church families and friends, and with those individuals we get to know as we reach outside our own immediate community. The life of my own child is worth saving, as are the lives of each of the children of this church, as are the lives of every child, youth, and adult here and around the world. Everyone is somebody's child, and everyone needs and deserves the kind of nurturance that will enable them to become strong, to realize that they are beautiful and important, that they are enough, and that they are truly and deeply needed. And we don't have to canonize our mothers. We don't need to think of them as flawless saints in order to recognize and celebrate the importance of nurturing relationships in our lives and in the greater life of our world. Each of us is flawed in ways both great and small, as are each of our relationships. Still, let us remember on this day and every day that we each need to give and receive love in caring relationships that work with the world just as it is, while keeping in mind a vision of the world as it can be. I hope and pray that we will recognize and appreciate the hard and often invisible work that mothers and others do day in and day out, nurturing and caring for everyone in our world, and that we will commit and recommit to doing that work ourselves today and every day. May it be so. Amen.
We will take one more step till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word till everyone is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word, one more prayer. We will say one more prayer till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer, one more song. We will sing one more song till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song. Thank you. Please be seated.
Our Share the Plate beneficiary for the month of May is Community Care and Resistance in Pittsburgh. CCRIP provides direct aid to the people in the Pittsburgh area returning home from incarceration in the Allegheny County Jail. They have a table outside the jail where they offer aftercare and supplies to individuals getting out of jail, making sure they at least have some money and a ride home. 100% of all donations go toward purchasing supplies. If you'd like to make a gift via our online giving system, you can do so by going to sunnyhill.org and clicking on the button that says Online Giving. Or you can give by text at 412-324-3130. We'll be passing our offering baskets for cash and checks in just a moment. Also, please remember to return your capital campaign idea cards now as well if you have them completed. Please join me in saying the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Just a couple of brief announcements before we go. 2 weeks from today, May 26th, we're going to be starting our summer schedule on Sunday mornings. So from May 26th through Labor Day weekend, we'll have just one service at 10 o'clock a.m. So keep that in mind. Next week will be 2 services. Following week, just 1 service. You can show up at 9 o'clock on the 26th if you wish. The doors will be open, but we won't start the service until 10. And if you come at 11:15, we'll just be leaving at that time. Also, I wanted to thank Pat and Fran for your work in bringing Manny to us today. He did an excellent job both with the Q&A between services and with the presentations he made, and really appreciate getting to know more about him and his work, and the work that you've done advocating at the jail oversight board meetings. It means a lot. So thank you. If you couldn't hear, we are going to post the question and answer session from between services on our YouTube channel, so you can check it out then if you wish. For now, we're going to close with these words from James Baldwin. For nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out. Hold on, keep faith with one another, and go in peace.